Singapore, a city of luxury. Singapore may not be the largest country, but it's the most expensive country in the world. The city-state located in Southeast Asia on the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula has been ranked as the most expensive country in the world 4 times in recent years, which takes into account more than 200 items that affect the quality of life like housing, transportation, food, and clothing expenses. How can you get around such a city when it costs an arm and a leg to do so? Let's find out. That said, Singapore is one of my favorite cities to visit, and it offers some of the most luxurious and expensive amenities on the planet. Singapore is a unique place for an individual who wishes to present the best side of himself or herself. And for those fortunate enough to have visited this city, it will not come as a surprise that Singapore is one of the most expensive cities on the planet. A short timeline for you. The city we know today has just a short history. What we now call the swamp-covered island used to be referred as Palau Ujong, an old Malay name meaning island at the end of the peninsula. As trade with other nations gained a foothold on the island and grew the population, it eventually became Temasek, or Sea Town. It wasn't until 1800s that Sir Thomas Stanford Raffles realized the importance of utilizing the region for its sea accessibility and turning it into a port of call for sea merchants. Soon the city grew in these ways, and in 1822, the Portuguese town plan allowed each ethnic group its district: the European town, Chinatown, Little India, and Muslim Quarter. Many years ago, the first time I visited the city, I stayed at the Raffles Hotel, named after the founder of modern-day Singapore. The original building started its life as privately owned beach house in the late 1830s before two Armenian brothers converted it into a 10-bedroom ultra-luxury high-standard hotel in the late 1880s. From the get-go, the hotel was marketed toward only the wealthiest of guests. One of the first of its kind in the region to feature electricity and ceiling fans. Endless renovations happened before 1900s, which resulted in the hotel we all know today. Starting with the Revel's choice of relaxing verandas, guests can enjoy admiring the gardens and the exquisite design inspired by British colonialism. Even though it may be with some effortless elegance, these suites are carefully crafted with the use of a variety of natural materials. There are a lot of natural woods, stone, glass, fabric, and metal which contribute to the elegance and offer visitors a level of detail that you won't find elsewhere. Guests can also enjoy a Singapore Sling, a gin-based cocktail dreamed up by Singapore native and then bartender John Tong Boon at the Singapore Hotel's very own Long Bar. Years before gin became a local favorite, when the hotel first opened, some of the first guests and the fans of the mood it established were the famed writers Somerset Maugham, Joseph Conrad, and Rudyard Kipling. In 2017, the hotel was shuttered for 2 years to perform extensive renovations, including the addition of 12 new rooms which have been raised the total number of rooms to 115. The restaurants and bars were temporarily closed, while the theater is transformed into a more amenable ballroom. The floor was installed to give the hotel an old-fashioned look while tying it back to its original days. Today, a presidential suite named after Armenian brothers for Sarkis and Sir Stanford Raffles is topping the list at the Bagua Hotel. They both infuse a very humbling feeling, without a need for luxury. Inside this apartment with 260 square meters of space, a couple of bedrooms, and a living room. The Raffles is a short walk from Sentosa, so guests have quick access to all that Sentosa has to offer, such as Resorts World and Universal Studios. The hotel itself features a Japanese-style spa with a pool area and fitness center. There's also an outdoor swimming pool for those who want to cool off. After spending time in town or exploring one of Singapore's top attractions, such as Gardens by the Bay or Marina Bay Sands. It has the most expensive casino property in the world, costing $7 billion, with a shoreline 120 miles long. There's no place to visit than this landmark designed in a ship-like style. This 1 hectare space can hold nearly 4,000 guests plus 191 meters of parklands while boasting the addition of an over 191 metric ton infinity pool made of stainless steel. The water from the pool can contain 1.5 million liters. It's from the ground level that one can appreciate it as the world's largest cantilevered platform, which extends an extra 7 meters beyond the North Tower. Many people likes to explore downstairs, which includes a shopping mall with a size of 74,000 square meters and a convention exhibit hall with a size of 120,000 square meters. The world-famous The Shops Mall is one of the most expensive shops in the world. Places like Chanel, Breitling, and Hermes, but I personally prefer to stay away from the crowds and make a private reservation at one of the six celebrity chef restaurants that Gordon Ramsay, Wolfgang Puck, Tetsuya Wadaku, Mario Batali, David Thompson, and Daniel Bulu own. Elsewhere in the resort, there is a museum, theater, and casino with 500 tables and 1,600 slot machines. However, the standout of the facility is the Chairman's Suite at $1,700. There are more than 2,500 rooms in the resort, but the best one costs $17,000. At 600 square meters, this is the most expensive room in the city. There are 3 guest rooms that are served by a master suite that offers both washroom for ladies and a washroom for gentlemen. The house is graced with 2 living rooms that come with a baby grand piano, a kitchenette, and a dining area. There is also a study room with at least 3 furnished balconies. On the exterior of the house, there is a private gym with a massage room, a sauna, and a steam room. These suite, like the Raffles pairs of range-topping suites, comes with 24-hour access to a private blog. The most expensive restaurants in Singapore can be found inside the shops at Marina Bay Sands and run about $500 a person. Wakugan serves food cooked by a private chef and is a fusion of European and Japanese cuisine. You will conclude your night with a private dessert party overlooking the beautiful Marina Bay. You must book your spot months in advance. Whenever I'm looking for a break from the city, I wander through the Botanic Gardens. The Victorian-era world-famous Botanical Garden are now also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, consisting of 3 gardens. It features one of the 6-hectare rainforest areas within a city. The Ginger Garden highlights one of the world's 1,600 ginger species. Orchid enthusiasts will surely appreciate the National Orchid Garden, a relaxing oasis away from the hustle and bustle of the city. It's fascinating to watch the birds and insects play with nature in the old colonial plantation bungalow from an ice city bench. It's both inspiring and empowering for children and families to learn about the important relationship between plants and humans in the garden's library and classroom. There's a great comfort knowing that every care is being taken at various breeding centers to ensure these plants have a future. According to Ptolemy's, exercise and holiday are often not easily combined. Golf bridges this gap perfectly. It's a way to stay active while holidaying. It also helps holidaymakers to interact with its surroundings and get to know their fellow golfers. In addition to providing great possibilities for people looking for a new sport to get involved in Singapore you have more than enough choices in golf courses. The Serapong course of the Sentosa Golf Club is popular among golf fans, taking up a third of the island of Sentosa. Situated just off the coast of mainland Singapore, Fort Sarabon watches over it from a distance, making it a small portion of the sea defense from the days of antiquity. Gathered as the best in Southeast Asia and also the world's best golf club at the World Golf Awards, it's a history from 1982. The course went through an impressive makeover in 2006 with a focus on water. There were problems, but lots of works went into developing the golf course into what it is today. For example, Hole 5 is on property where seawater had once been about 12 meters deep. Nearly 3 million cubic meters of sand were used for stabilization on this portion of reclaimed land. I am especially fond of the downtown skyline framing the golf course's holes, and the golf course itself can be seen from some areas that are shaded by palm trees, lining the coastline. A sea breeze is common in that area, making it a small section of my house even more difficult to inhabit. When one thinks of Singapore, diving may not be their first thought. The heavy boat traffic and churned-up waters are not conducive to safe and clean diving, though technically it's not accurate. For example, the pseudo-wreck lays beneath the surface at 15 meters and is almost entirely intact, as they'll see a variety of corals, sea slugs, turtles, and even sharks. This site is popular because it's easy to get to. I like Palaujong better for quieter dives, but it has reef sharks and stingrays, so take care. For me, the perfect holiday is a combination of a good night's sleep, delicious food, and opportunities to rest and engage with family. But Singapore is so much more than just a tourist destination. It's also a sprawling city with over 5.5 million people residing in it. Now the third more densely populated city on the planet. It's clear why living here could be so expensive. Relative to average income rates in the US and the UK, average income rates in Singapore are among the lowest. The average annual income for the US and the UK are roughly $65,000 and $73,000 respectively. Thanks to limited land space, housing in Singapore Center can cost around $19,844 per square meter, which is around half of what you would find outside of the center. These eats up around 30% of an average worker's salary, compared to prices inside the city of UK, which is just 7% of $5,631 per square meter. They're significantly more expensive at $4,000 outside the city. Next to the US average city center pieces of $3,496, which is just 4% of an average salary. The average Singaporean salary buys 7 times less property than the average American salary. Naturally, the cost of living is affected by factors other than just housing and food, but for today we will use them as our points of comparison. It may be surprising for you to learn that house prices are very high in Singapore. Food costs in Singapore are just 1% more per month than they are in the US, at $342, while food in Britain itself is only $236. Numerous studies have concluded that Singapore is one of the most expensive cities in the world, together with its five competitors. They'll change frequently, but it's true to say that today, the city is one of the most expensive opulent cities in the world. Well, I want to know, have you ever been to Singapore? Would you like to visit? Go and take a tour to the most expensive and one of the finest countries in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment.